Wake your ass up
or take a damn nap.
And we're the three best friends that anybody could have.
It's time.
Sean, you were twerking. That's going to happen.
Murph, don't be a dick all your life.
It's one of the more fun podcasts I've ever done.
Hey, I tell you what, if you're not talking about sports in the man cave, I better not say you not a fan.
That's it.
Here we are, the man cave, and man, I'm over here in the corner, and we have a guy on the bottom who is never at a loss for words that I have always loved and respected. Brian Jones, former Longhorn, but before, just for everyone who may be watching this episode 78 or Stories Inside the Man Cave for the very first time, I've got a little treat for you, and Harge, you probably remember this too, a little throwback. And I like to call Brian Jones the Nostradamus of college football.
Nick's a great coach. He's going to win there at Alabama. Bear Bryant loves this. He's smiling. He's not rolling on his grave. He's loving it. He's throwing his hat on. He can't wait for every Saturday there in Tuscaloosa to watch his Crimson Tide get back on top, and Nick Saban's going to take him to the top. Get off the man. They got mad at him because he used coon ass. He used to be at LSU. I played for the Saints for 4 years. We refer to each other as a coon ass every now and then. Don't get mad at the man. That's just how we refer to each other. Just a term of endearment there in Louisiana.
Wow! oh, snap! We call us Negro Damas. I knew what I was talking about. I was sitting at the CBS right now. I want a new contract, baby, with a lot more zeros in front of the comma.
I love it. You were right there. You were Blackster Damas. You was out there letting them know.
How you find that, man? I can't believe they let me say it on TV. Cool ass, first of all. And then my fat ass face. Oh, my God. The little afro was working, though.
Yeah, you did have that pro. I was like, damn, did he just get out of the game? He ready now. He's going to hit the club.
Man.
That was before you were introduced to Bikram yoga, correct?
Yeah, that was a year after. 2006 is when I was introduced to yoga and vinyasa, Baptiste yoga, right there in Austin at Breath and Body. My good friend Blake Call. Matter of fact, he is here in Florida for a yoga retreat at one of my favorite watering holes, the old hotel. So cool, man. That's real cool. I was into it, but I wasn't as into the yoga as I am now, because you can see I still had that baby Huey face.
Hey, keeping it 100, though.
Oh, exactly.
100% of the time. That's
Well, and to your point, I've never lost the words. I was actually going through some old boxes in the garage, man. I found all these old articles. I was like, I should have shut the hell up, or somebody should have told me to shut the hell up. What are you talking about, man? Be quiet. Oh, man.
Hey, when you live, baby, and sometimes you just got to let it know what it is, right?
Yeah.
let it roll.
As our boy Kenneth Sims says, if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything.
Exactly. Hello.
Yeah, Brian Jones, former Longhorn, has joined us. And before we move forward with this anticipated interview that if you've never spoken to the Brian Jones, it is a treat. It's full of laughter. You will have a 6-pack of abs before the end of this episode is over. But
I'm glad because I'm kind of needing on that.
We got to give love to our sponsors. A former teammate of Brian Jones, Jim Saxton.
Yeah, man.
State Farm Insurance Agency.
Hook 'em, Jimmy.
Yeah, old Jimmy. That picture of you that we have now on Twitter of you guys in the tunnel before the debacle versus Miami, Jim Saxton, number 14, he says he was ready to fight somebody. Was that true?
You know what? We should have fought. And I regret that. And I think about the losses more than I do the wins. And that game comes to mind, the Colorado The second loss, the first one, my big ass, I was way out of shape, couldn't breathe up there in Colorado in that high altitude. But when they came down to Austin, our senior year, man, we should have beat them. And I was trying so hard, tripping over my own feet. So those come to mind. But yeah, man, that Miami game, we should have kicked each other's ass at halftime because none of us were doing anything. And that means there wouldn't have been a second half. And they would have just won by forfeit. And the score wouldn't have been as, let's say, voluminous as it was. But I regret that. Man, I should have started a fight. Somebody should have started a fight.
Right.
They were damn sure fighting.
Yeah, they was ready too.
Oh, man, they had more yards and penalties than we had total offense. That's the ass whipping we took. They had more yards and penalties than we had in total offense. I mean, come on.
Wow. That's not a good look, dog.
Yeah, that's when mama, daddy, nobody want to talk to you. Boy, just go away from here. Now, y'all got y'all ass. You embarrassed the whole family. You embarrassed our ladies. Get on away from here. We'll see you in a month or so.
Well, Brian Jones, former Texas linebacker, NFL linebacker. The guy does it all. Yoga fanatic, dinner table etiquette connoisseur for the Boys and Girl Club.
I can't take credit for that. Sharon Schweitzer was my etiquette coach when I hosted a golf tournament there in Austin for 15 years, benefiting the Boys and Girls Club. So we do a dinner, and you got to love this story. This story was born from a recruiting trip to UCLA. And I have Sharon come and teach etiquette. She teaches etiquette all over the world, different cultures. To executives, businessmen. So she's high end, but she would come and put these 15 kids through etiquette training at Ruth Chris Steakhouse. They were a big sponsor of the weekend as well. And so that was a fun night. I'd always have a guest speaker. So this dinner was born from my recruiting trip to UCLA. I'm sitting in this big old building. It was the Bank of America building at the time in Westwood. And there was a steakhouse up there. And man, that's where they took all the recruits. And it's me, Terry Donahue, and Peter Dallas, athletic director at the time. And I ordered crab leg and filet mignon. Now, I'd had crab leg. I don't know how my ass, coming from Lubbock, Texas, I had some crab leg, but I had some crab leg before. So the server brings my crab legs, then attempts to serve the filet mignon. And I get into this back and forth with him. No, I didn't order that. Sir, you ordered filet. No, I didn't order it. I didn't know filet mignon was beef. I thought it was fish. Only thing we have filet was some fish. I'm expecting some catfish up in this baby or something with a fancy name, right? Filet mignon. Man, I was so embarrassed. I was like, there goes my scholarship. So from that embarrassment, I started the etiquette training with Sharon during, all the years I hosted the tournament. I wanted these kids not to have the same situation, encounter the same situation which I had encountered, and this would help them. You had a fancy dinner, and you got all these damn utensils. We ate growing up with our fingers. What
was it with?
With our fingers. Now I got more knives and forks I don't know what to do with. But that situation, man, I didn't know all about that. Start on the outside, work yourself in, and yada, yada. But, man, it was so much fun working with Sharon, and she made it a treat the way she would take these kids through this etiquette exercise at each dinner, man. And then, of course, we shout out at Ruth Chris. So that's what that was born from, that etiquette dinner, man. Sharon Schweitzer, she's the pro behind that.
She's an amazing woman. Tons of worldly, international stories too. Experiences.
She's incredible.
So, BJ, let's get into it, man. You've had a lot of success with CBS and doing all the stuff for Saturday, the big game. But talk about your path to getting to that point. Obviously, you're a great football player. You wore the number 60 at the University of Texas. You've done a bunch of things to get yourself into this position. But you got to be able to talk. You got to be personable. You got to have some knowledge of everything. You just can't go up there and be crazy. So talk about your journey to CBS and being able to be crazy when you want to.
Well, I got dropped on my head when I was a baby, so that's why I'm crazy.
That started off good right there.
Yeah.
That's why you were a linebacker.
It started to play. The first time I played organized football at 10 years old, they stuck me at linebacker, so that didn't help either. But you know what? when the league kicked me out, and I'd done some media growing up. We had a fledgling television station, LISD, Lubbock Independent School District TV, my senior year in high school up in Lubbock. And I was a part of that first class. And then I interned at our NBC affiliate, KCBD. And then I'd done some stuff, throughout college and when I was in the pros. Of course, you're always involved in interviews, so you have to learn that the camera's your friend and all that. And as I said earlier, I should have shut my mouth at times, but when the league kicked me out, I come back to UT, and the best move I've ever made in my life was coming back to UT to complete my degree. And I came back, and I'm sitting there in Donnie Little's office. And y'all know Donnie, first black quarterback at UT, and Donnie and I are thick as thieves. And Donnie said, you should go apply for the sideline job at KVET, because at that time the sideline guy had just left, and I forget who it was, and there was an opening for the radio broadcast. And so he called up Lise Hudson right there as I was in his office. And she said, sure, send him up. And mind you, I've got a tank top on, I got flip-flops and shorts. And she said, I don't care, come on over. So I go over, man, interview with Lise. We hit it off. We're still friends to this day. And she said, now, the only issue with the sideline gig is this. I've already assigned someone for the upcoming season. So this is what I want to say, February, March 2000. This is because I'd returned for that spring semester in 2000. I've already assigned someone for the upcoming season. If you will carry the parabolic mic, and y'all familiar with that little dish where all your sound comes through your TV or your radio, if you'll carry that for this season, you can be the sideline reporter the following season. Because I was going to be there 2 years away. I hadn't done a damn thing in school. I'd be on ScoPro during football season, then I'd make the dean's list in the fall, in the spring. So I needed to make up some credits anyway. So I said, all right, I'm going to be here. So, man, you talk about humbling yourself. And it was, and I was going through some things at that time. Howard says, man, you've been, Sean, you played for so long, and then it's gone, and it's not like any other profession where you can just wean yourself off of it. It's like a faucet, man. It's on, then it's off, and I was going nuts. Didn't know what the heck I was gonna do the rest of my life, blowing money, partying, just doing crazy stuff, and our buddy, Slimmy, man, he's had so much wisdom. Kenneth Sam said, man, when you got nothing in your pocket, put your pride in your pocket. So the next thing you know, I'm carrying this parabolic mic, man, and traveling with this thing. That's my baby. Wherever the football team went, me and that parabolic mic went while I was continuing to complete my education. So it started there, and then they hooked me up with Chad Hastings. We started doing some shows there at KVET, and that continued to grow. And the next year, I was hosting the Mac Brown TV show, Rick Barnes TV show, when he was basketball coach, and it continued to grow from there, man. And the shows over at KVET did. And eventually, I left the radio, and I said I went up to Fox Sports Southwest, and they hired me. It was a great story here, man. You talking about being determined. So I'm doing all this work at KVET, and I actually started working. There was a fledgling network, CSTV, College Sports Television, up in New York, which is now CBS Sports Network.
That's the one that you was called. That's when you was.
Right, that's the one. That's the clip you just showed. Yeah.
That's
so
right.
they did that, but I also wanted to do some other work because that was just once a week. So we had sent tape to Fox Sports Southwest. It just so happened I was out at the UT Golf Club playing golf, and then I see the GM, John Heike at the time. He was in line at the buffet line, and I was like, man, I sent you my tapes 2 months ago. When you gonna take a look at them? And he said, I promise you, as soon as I get back up to Dallas, we're going to take a look at your tape and we'll bring you up for an audition. True to his word, man. I was up there the next week, knocked it out, and Fox Sports Southwest, they hired me. So, did college stuff for them, did some Houston Texans stuff on the weekends during the NFL season for them as well. You talking about boring. Woof. That's when they were really bad. Woo, man, that was hard to watch. And I'm a lifelong Cowboys fan. I'm up and down. I got to watch these Houston Texans. I got to watch Old Carr. I mean, he can't even remember his first name.
He
But
was
his brother's
sacked
Derek.
198 times.
David Carr.
David Carr. Yeah. Man, you talking about getting knocked every which way but loose every weekend, man. So it was born from that, man. That initial call, being in Donnie's office and Lise Hudson hiring me and working with great folks like Chad and Kevin and then just growing from there. And eventually, CBS acquired CSTV, and they brought me over to the SEC side about 8 or 9 years ago, man. How long is it? Yeah, it's been about 8 or 9 years ago since I've been over on that side. So it's been a hell of a journey. It's been fun, and I'm glad it has occurred in the manner in which it had. You got to work your butt off. You got to get, just like we as ballers, you got to get better each and every year, and you got to figure out where your blind spots are, your gaps, your challenges, and definitely try to shore them up. So yeah, man, it's been fun. But that was it. That's how it started.
BJ, I was going to ask you. Whenever people watch you on the college football show on CBS, it's pure entertainment, but that's not. People may have the wrong impression of you right now. You're quite a cerebral guy as well. You know your business. You know your information. When you look at the situation right now with the Texas football team, I have not seen this much turnover. If you look at the grand picture, the sample set over the last decade,
yeah.
How do you get out of that?
Well, it's been ugly, and you know how you get out of it because you've been through it with us. When I transferred, listen, when I went to UCLA, I was a lifelong Longhorn. Grew up watching them. The Longhorns and the Cowboys lost. I was crying at the weekend. The week was over. It just ruined my whole week, man. Those cats. And if both lost, oh hell, come on, man. How do I go on? Come on. It was tough. So I go out to UCLA. When I was being recruited, Southwest Conference was in turmoil. SMU just got in the death penalty. Everyone was being investigated. I think A&M was on probation, and everyone, they were just all scouring all over every team in the conference at that time. And UCLA was really, really hot and just gone to 3 straight Rose Bowls or something like that. And man, I went out there. It's like, whoa, this different. I think I'm gonna set up shop out here for a second. Man, I had a blast and played as a true freshman All-American, all that. Had back surgery after my freshman year. Right. Only played a handful of games my next year, but the whole time I was there, I wanted to be a Longhorn, man. It's just something about it. So as hard as it was, I transferred and came to UT. And what I found at UT was totally different than what I had witnessed at UCLA. Wow, we didn't make it to a Rose Bowl, and we weren't that great. Those 2 years I was there, we were still a damn good football team, still went to bowls. There was leadership in that locker room. There were guys, and I still quote Ken Norton Jr. today. Ken won a couple Super Bowls with the Cowboys, a couple with the 49ers, longtime NFL coach, still a good friend to this day. But he said, you can't get soft with success. And that's what had occurred at UT, and there was no leadership. When I walked into that locker room, there were guys that thought they were going to win just because Texas was emblazoned across their chest. No discipline, no determination, none of that. No work ethic, to really tell you the truth. Some spots here and there, guys that were tremendous. Eric Metcalf, outstanding. Tony Jones, no one could catch Tony. You had some other guys. Hager was there, tough as nails. Brett. So there were some guys there. But we had to change our attitude. And that's exactly what we did. I recall Mac Williams calling us into his office after that, my junior year, 89, in which we got hot. Man, we beat Oklahoma. We beat Arkansas on the road, got hot. And then after Tech beat us, 30-30. I ain't even bring up Paul Beerman's name. I ain't came even say it. I ain't say it.
Norman, by the way.
Yeah. See, you point shaving because he's from Norman. Man, we had Tech beat. We would have really been on the road. We gave up that touchdown, lost that game, and there was a precipitous fall after that. But suffice to say, listen, Coach brings us in and says, hey, man, y'all got to take ownership of this. I can't do it. And we made up our minds right then and there. All the cats were going to be seniors. Like, all right. And that's when we got the Longhorn leaders and all that. And we said, all right, we're going to get up at 5, 6 in the morning. We're going to put your ass in that old weight room under there with all them bats and that bat shit. And it's going to be 120 of y'all up in there. It's going to be hot. It's going to be funky. And that's what we did. And that right there helped us turn this thing around. And you got to have that sense of urgency. As I was there in Austin for the spring game a couple months ago, and I sensed a sense of urgency. And I made a point to talk to different people. People in the front office, the higher ups in the athletic department. I wanted to talk to the managers. I talked to former players, and all of them to a person said the same thing. There's more discipline. There's more accountability. That was the word, is the A word. There's more accountability. You got to have that, man. You have nothing. It's got to mean something to you. And your teammates got to make sure it means something to you. We have to hold each other accountable because that coach can only do so much. And that's what transpired when I was at UT and we went from that 89 season to the Shock the Nation tour, man. We started believing in each other. We had worked our ass off. Everybody was in shape. And we just had this will to win. We were sick and tired. So hopefully that's taking hold now as we speak. Of course, we just got some, not so good news. One of the receivers is transferring. Another one's in trouble with the law. But you're going to have issues like that. Everyone has to go through that. So that sense of urgency, that accountability, that determination, and that work ethic, if you have that as your foundation, you can build upon that. And I think that's what Sark is going to do. I was, man, ecstatic about the hire. That's exactly what I wanted. I wanted a dyed-in-the-wool coach and someone who can come and sit a spell, be here for a minute, and this guy's gone through some things. And now you can leverage that. I had a conversation with Hugh Freeze, and you guys know, doing great things at Ole Miss, then bottom fell out, and now he's at Liberty. He was doing great things at Liberty. And I asked him, how do you leverage what you went through, your downfall with those guys in that locker room? And he said, I'm just honest with them. And that's what you want. We hear all the time, these coaches, we're shaping and molding these cats to be better men out in society. Well, you can't hide anything from them. You got to give it all, the good and the bad. And Hugh Freeze said that's exactly what he's doing. And I would imagine that's what Sark's doing, his life journey, what he's had to deal with. And we've all had to go through something. I have, you guys have, we're dealing with something. It was a Neo song, everybody going through something. So if he can leverage that while, building this foundation of accountability, I think they're going to be just fine. So that's how you fix it, Sean, man. You just got to first internally say, hey, things got to change with me. And then, project that outwardly. And that whole team starts to see that. And the leaders start to emerge and everyone gets in line and gets on board. And then, man, there's no stopping that train.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. And you said something throughout that conversation that seems to happen every single day. I don't know what it was like when you initially did it, and that was transfer. Mm-hmm. Like, it seems like everybody can go anywhere they want to at any time, and that's just the way life is. So your thoughts on the transfer, talk about your transfer and what's next.
Well, I look at it now, and it's about immediacy with this generation. They want everything now. Well, hell, we did too. I am the worst when it comes to patience. I want it now. But you have to learn some patience. And there were people upset with me, people close to me, in my inner circle, that I transferred. And it hurt me. It really hurt me. But I didn't transfer because I was afraid of competition, because I didn't play. Man, I had a wonderful time at UCLA. I'm still friends with Terry Donahue. I saw him. UCLA was in San Antonio a number of years ago, basketball for the Final Four. I believe Kansas ended up winning it down there. And I ran into Coach Donahue and thanked him, effusively. I was effusive in my praise for everything he had done for me, the staff and the friends I had amassed who are still friends to this day. So it wasn't because of competition or I was dissatisfied with the experience. The experience was incredible. I just longed to be a Longhorn. This was what was in my heart, man. Even though they were down and I had it good out there, it was what was on my heart. So that's why I transferred. And that was guaranteed to me when I decided to transfer. Nothing whatsoever. Now, these kids today, all I'm hearing is, I need an opportunity to play. I want an opportunity to play. Well, I get that. We all want to play, but you can't run from competition. You can't run from these obstacles, these hurdles. How about sit there and learn? And everyone's situation is different. Everyone's situation is different. When I see cats transfer 2, 3, 4 times, like, come on, really? What? Come on. And now what's
Tate Martell. I'm like, where's he at now?
Right, where you going, dude?
He's back at Glenn Junior College, probably.
Yeah. Where you going? I mean, you just had the situation with the McCaffrey kid. I think it's Luke, from Nebraska to Louisville, now to Rice. What are you running from? What you running to? Yeah. That's what I want to know. What is it? What's going to make you happy? Because obviously you have not found it. So sit, learn, and maybe this football thing works out, maybe it doesn't. But if you're in a great program, if you're learning the game the right way and the ancillary things that go along with it, the collegiate experience, if those are favorable, why not stay there, work your ass off, and see where the chips fall? That's what I would say. But yeah, man, these cats going to be in a world of hurt because there are only so many spots. You're coming through a pandemic where you're giving these kids an extra year. There's nowhere to put you. You're transferring. Where are they going to put you? Where are you going to go when this roster's already stacked from a number standpoint? There's no room. So I don't get it. I would hope they would make better decisions, but in a lot of cases, you got so many people in your ear, it's just not right.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Harge, and then BJ, you probably discussed this as well a while back. I think it was during spring football. The percentage of individuals who entered the transfer portal and that percentage who actually found a home by May was like 12%.
Yep.
I mean, that was astonishing to me. But at the same time, that's relative to what you were just saying. Where are you running to and what are you running from?
Right. Well, this is the new free agency. This is college football free agency. And I'm glad they have this freedom. Listen, I'm a big proponent of this. The coach can move about the country. Why can't the players? I get that. But at some point, you just got to say, hey, this is where I'm going to hang. This is where I'm going to get better and learn. If football works out or whatever sport I'm involved in, great. If it doesn't, you just have to make up your mind. This is it, and go with it and work your behind off at that point. But yeah, I'm all for the NIL, name, image, and likeness. Why not be able to benefit while you're hot? Because not everyone's going to that next level. We get it. And you're not going to always be hot. You could be hot as a sophomore or a freshman and then get hurt. And then you've missed your income window. So I'm all for that. But this numerous transfers, folks, come on. Especially if you're in a good spot and, everything's in place other than what's happening on the field or on the court. Well, sometimes that takes time to cultivate. Sometimes you're just not there yet. And, I've always told these kids, I tell the young kids all the time, you got to be coachable. And when that coach stops getting on you, that's when your ass is going to be in a world of hurt. That means they giving up on you. And I know some can go overboard. I get that. We've had those. But when they stop getting on you, because the reason they're imploring you, the reason they're poking and prying, because they see something in you. And they know there's more we can get out of you. And you can get out of yourself. That's their job, to find that. And find which buttons to push to make you a better player, make you a better man. So when they stop, bye. Yeah, you might as well transfer then. Yeah, they ain't giving up on you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah,
so,
man. So BJ, be coachable.
You talked a little bit about the taking advantage of the name, image, and likeness and doing what you can. Mm-hmm. How is the college the college is going to be able to bottle some of that up. And what I mean by that is, I mean, I can go sign autographs down the street for $20,000 and I might just sign one autograph. I mean, I don't know. How are they going to quantify where the earning power of some is going to be different than somebody else's, right?
Well, you can, and that's where the free market forces come in. And I've always said if you're looking for socialism, look no further than big time college sports.
Yeah.
Because no matter if you're the top player on the team or you're the last dude on the bench, we all got the same, right?
Right.
We pretty much all got the same, unless you're a walk-on, but you got the same. So free market will determine who gets what, and not everyone's going to have the same market. There are going to be people with a presence, with appeal locally, where they're from, regionally, in their college town, and then you're going to have those superstars who nationally can go out and leverage their name, image, and likeness. But that's how the free market works. And that's all I've ever wanted. And that's all anyone should ever want. Let the free market determine that. That goes on in business. That goes on in every area of life when it comes to, transactional situations. And that's what this has become now. So the free market will say, all right, we like this cat over that cat, and who you are, your brand, and how you carry yourself. So now these young men and women are now going to be involved in that space at an earlier age. And I'm happy for it. And as far as guardrails and things of that nature, we're going to have to figure it out. This is going to be a wait and see game. And some people some teams or schools are think they may have figured it out, but you don't. We're going to have to wade, you wade through this little pond for a minute and see how it shakes out. And that's going to be the key. But I also think, and UT is doing this, you've got to help steer these young men and make things available to them so they have a correct or the proper view of these opportunities. And I believe UT is putting that in place. Initially, when all this came down, remember a couple of years ago, I think California was the first state to go this way, then Florida, then others. There was this huge pushback from these athletic departments. Well, you can't work with our sponsors. And I'm sitting there thinking, this is an opportunity for you and those sponsors to increase your footprint in this cat's network or this young lady's network. Why would you immediately recoil? You could be missing an opportunity to sell more products over here. He may be from a little old town, but they may like your product. So, I think that you've seen now that this train has definitely left the station and there's no turning back. People they sat down and they got with their teams within the athletic department, said we got to map out a way forward, and that's what's occurring now. And so, as far as guardrails, I think there will be a constant shift, over the next couple of years, because people can always try to circumvent things. There can always be those out there, how do I get over? And let's just be honest, kids are getting money now. Stars are getting money now.
No, don't say it.
I ain't naming no names. I'm just saying. Hell, it was happening when I was playing.
$20.
Boom. One dude slapped my hand, gave me $5.
It means you need to make some more tackles, dog.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I gave me $5, man.
Well, BJ, we know this thing is constantly going to be evolving. The gray area is bigger than the Atlantic Ocean right now.
Yeah.
But I think we all know this is long overdue. The NCAA is antiquated. It's archaic. They're holding on to something that they are trying to portray they are, and they haven't been for quite some time. And I don't know why it's taken me this long here in the past 3 years to really voice my opinion on the NCAA. Come on. NCAA is out to make a profit at the expense of young people. They are not for the greater good.
And they hid behind the amateurism term. forever and ever. There's a great documentary. Matter of fact, Jeremy Bloom, who was a victim of the said NCAA, vice versa.
Yeah.
Vice versa, man. Check that out when you get a chance. Incredible expose on this whole landscape and how the NCAA was formed and you know what they've done. And the term you use, Sean, antiquated. I've said that forever. It's an antiquated business model. And that's exactly what it is. It makes no sense. You can't say it's an amateur sport where you got billion-dollar TV contracts, million upon million-dollar head coaching contracts, and say ain't nothing amateur about that. Nothing at all. You know, you'll go to your bank. Hey man, I'm coming here with this amateur money. It's all right, good.
How do I get some amateur money?
Yeah, right. So, yeah, this has been long overdue, and also they're finding it increasingly difficult to defend it because everyone sees students. Man, I've been saying this forever, and I said this on set of one of our shows, Inside College Football, a number of years ago. I said, guys, when these young men realize how much power they yield, one of these days they're gonna get together and say, we ain't showing up one particular Saturday afternoon. And when they do that, we all gonna be in a world of hurt. We won't be sitting there, we won't be shit to talk about. And ain't nobody gonna be tailgating. And the TV folks will have nothing to put on TV. I mean, so you better start having these conversations now. That's why you saw the autonomy of the Big Five or the Power Five conferences and things. They started slowly taking some of that power away from the NCAA. Like, listen, you messing up with a honey hole over here, man. We're going to get these kids the cost of attendance, give them a little bit here and there to fly parents, to different things of that nature. And now, you know, the dam is broken. So I knew it was going to come to this eventually, and here it is. But, yeah, we're going to have to continue to just monitor and see how you go about placing some guardrails and some oversight on this new landscape.
Go ahead, Arj. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm glad he touched on that. But one more thing before we transition to what Sean likes to call stories from inside the man cave. I want to ask you about this playoff system, right? So we're looking at this playoff team, 12 team. I'm sitting here trying to figure out what's the wait. What are we waiting on? Why, you know, they're talking about, oh, they already got this system. We're already blowing up everything already. Why not blow it up now so everybody knows what they have a chance to get into? Because how do you have a Power 5 conference and you only got 4 people in it? Like getting into the playoffs. That is the dumbest thing ever. You win a conference championship, but you can't play for nothing. You're going to get that New Year's 6-day bowl. Go ahead and do that. But what does that do? That ain't give me no trophy. I'm trying to get that. I'm trying to get that big prize money. So why are they trying to wait?
The same arguments that were espoused in an effort to save the NCAA and continue to hold on to this antiquated business model. The same arguments you hear when it comes to the playoffs, because many guys I work with and people in the college football analyst industry would say the same. Well, playoff is going to take away from the game. It's going to go the way of college basketball. The reason college basketball, in my estimation, the reason for its demise is these cats are one and done. Hell, you got to learn a whole new roster the next year. They're one and I used to love watching college basketball, man. Big Monday, come on.
Right.
We had great teams. We were at Texas with the Running Horns, and Travis Mays, Lance Blanks, and Joey Wright, and all those cats, man. And now they're gone. Why do you think Coach K stepping there? Like, man, I'm tired of this shit.
Right.
I can't deal with this, man. I don't even have time to coach these cats because they're not here long enough.
I can't pay these guys.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, why do you?
Right. Okay. We can still do that now. So, you know, that was the argument. College football is going to be like that if we go to a playoff, 14 playoff. Man, they make it upwards of $750 million for a 14 playoff. And that was supposed to take away the game, make the regular season less meaningful. Now they're going to say that about a 12-team playoff. I'm a big advocate for the increasing the number of participants. I've always said, you know, have the Power 5 conference champions and then some at-large bids. I was cool with 8. It looks like they're going to go to 12. Why are they waiting? Just to put on the pretense that, hey, man, we really, did our due diligence on this, and we didn't want to rush it out there. Because remember, for the longest time, they said, no, we're not expanding. We're not expanding.
Right.
We're not going to expand. We will never expand. Like, yeah, right. Y'all lying. You're going to expand eventually because there's too much more money to be made and there are too many other people that are left out. So it's going to expand.
Well, and the other thing was they didn't want it. They were like, oh, we can't do that because of the school and the travel. Oh, how does 1AA do it? 1AA has done a great job with it. They've been giving away a trophy every year. And that's who you've been catering to because that's who takes care of that. When you look
that's the fallacy of that argument. Right. You just hit the nail. And I say that them cats, Division II, and 3, their education don't matter. Their health doesn't matter.
Exactly.
So they can have a robust playoff, but the big boys, come on. I mean, that fish is 4 days old. I ain't buying it.
I mean, look at that 1AA, man. They've had that contract with Frisco, Texas for quite
some time. That's that filet, right? That's that filet.
That's that filet mignon over there in Frisco.
Right, man.
And they played deep into January, and this year they had it in the spring. I guess they didn't miss any classes.
It's just bogus arguments, man. They're grasping at straws. They're just trying to come up with any rationale, whether it's ludicrous or not, to hang on to this model, and it just doesn't work anymore. And I understand all the purists out there, and the main thing, hold on to the educational piece, and hopefully guys and girls, everyone that's involved in intercollegiate athletics understands how important and significant that portion of this college experience is. But you can't, in one vein sit over and say, well, it's about amateurism, and over here, everyone's heading to the bank with goo gobs of money. No, man. And then you handcuff these kids and won't allow them to benefit from their name. I mean, that whole Terrell Pryor deal, dude, Tattoo Gate. The dude tried to barter his jersey, he and other players, his jersey. And this is when it was really, this was the skunk in the garden party right here, man. You can cuss on this show. Them motherfuckers said, they said, y'all can play in the bowl game. We've already sold all these tickets here in New Orleans at the Sugar Bowl. Y'all can play Arkansas, Ohio State in this bowl game, but you're going to have to sit out 4 or 5 games in the upcoming season. So that tells you it was about the money. It was about the money. So if this was so egregious, what they did, this was an affront to the NCAA rule book. Why the hell didn't you hold them out of that bowl game? You know why? Because of the bottom line. It was going to affect the bottom line. It was about the money, and that was so stupid. They've earned those jerseys. They've earned the bowl watch, the Bolex as we call it or whatever. They earned all that. And so you couldn't go barter that for a tattoo? Tattoo?
Exactly.
Come on, man.
Exactly.
That was their undoing right there.
That was total hypocrisy.
Oh, the highest order. Oh, ridiculous.
Those mother. Hey, this is Harge and I were kind of talking about this. We've had some good Jim Saxton State Farm Insurance Agency man cave stories, but I had a special feeling about yours. I mean, this could go all different directions. It could be Chris Samuels walking off the field, off the Cotton Bowl floor after the opening kickoff. It could be a David McWilliams in the locker room.
Wait, first of all, Chris Samuels didn't walk out. They had to carry his ass off. And my boy, what's his name? Robert, from Miami. He told me this story later. He said, man, he told his teammate he was going to knock out the kick returner. He called his shot. Went down there and knocked my boy out, man.
He was sitting dead red, and he hit that home run, didn't he? Oh.
Called his shot. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to mess up your
No, you didn't mess up. It's the banner we live for right here. This is Man Cave story, maybe something that you thoroughly enjoy telling people. It could be from that 1990 Shock the Nation tour. It could be anything that really encapsulates the humor, the intellectual value that Brian Jones is.
Well, this was prior to that season, and I'd been dating this beautiful young lady over on the east side of Austin.
Hello.
Yeah, nice, tall. Curl. I'm reminiscing now. I'm gonna need a moment. No, I'm joking. So
I'm sitting here like this. Go ahead, finish
so somehow we got crossways though, and apparently, her family members and others on the east side didn't like the fact she was dating me. I don't know what it was. Anyway, we got cross threaded, as my boys in East Texas say. Got a little cross threaded. So this particular evening we go out. So Sundays we'd hang out at the park. I forget the name of that park on the east side in Gibbons Park.
Gibbons Park.
Gibbons Park. Yeah, we gonna hang out over there. Me, Bubba Jackson, all the cats. We take a little Mustang 5.0 over there, man. Hang out, everybody playing music, drinking a little bit, and so and just
sip a little something.
Yeah, watching the Haps, right? So we're over there chilling, and she and I got crossways, and later on that night, we decided we were going to go to the other spot up on Riverside, and I think it used to be called Tootsie's. And then it really got weird, man, because all these cats were mad at me. We were in the parking lot, and they go into their trunks, and we had to run in the club, man. Run in the club, make them close the door. Close the door. They coming after me. So somehow they get me out of the back door. I go back to the dorm. Man, I'm up in there. I got half the football team. We're going back. We're going to get them. We're going back. I done went recruited half the football team.
Had them gassed up.
They were gassed. I got Bama and all. I got the Young Bucks. Me, Winfrey Tubb. We all together, man. We go back up to the club, man. Them cats came around the corner with them shotguns. If they had time was in a 40, we all would have run 4-2s, man. 4-1. We running every which way. Boom, boom. Oh, it was hilarious.
They needed to bring them cats to the combine, huh?
Oh, dude, it was you sit back and reflect. I was like, man, I could have gotten half the football team killed. I was like, it was similar to the Samuel L. Jackson scene in School Days. When they were at the KFC, cats from across town mad at the college dudes. Oh, man, I look back on that. I was like, what was I thinking? But you're young, you're dumb. That's funny now, but I love the fact that we turned that thing around. And we've been losing Oklahoma, we've been losing A&M, and to beat A&M in the manner in which we beat them that year, and we'd actually won the conference the week before in Waco versus Baylor. So, but to start it all off, to go to Happy Valley and beat Penn State the beginning of the season, no one even had us on their radar. I don't even think we ranked. If we were, it was like 24th, 25th, if that. And to go up there, man, and play in such a tough environment and first game of the year and win that type of ball game was tremendous. But it was those years and being a part of something special, as you guys all know, you've been a part of something special. They live with you forever. You reminisce and reflect on that camaraderie you built and all the things you went through and the heartaches, the hardships, but overcoming and accomplishing that goal. That was fun, but that was one of the funnier stories, man. I'm just glad I didn't get those dudes killed, and the fact that they had my back. I mean, that's even.
But they were ready to whoop your ass when you got back to the
door. It's like, wait a minute, I didn't make y'all go down there.
We got you, bro, but damn, let's talk about that shotgun.
Well, we went up there, we took a knife to a gunfight. We were like, come on, put them up. They were like, nah, we got
we good. We good.
Yeah. It's funny though, that young lady and I are still friends. We reconnected a number of years ago, still friends. She became a police officer.
Whoa.
Yeah.
See there?
You go.
already knew.
Yeah, I didn't burn any bridges.
Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that.
She's still here in ATX?
No. She lives up in the Dallas area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of Happy Valley, you remember this?
Oh, woo! That's back when I get low.
You did get low, dog.
Picture,
You did
man.
get low. You did get low.
We were in shape, dude. We went up there. It was hot, hotter than fish grease, humid, and that was the first drive. They ran the opening kickoff back to about the 1 yard line.
Yeah, Gary Brown.
And, it was Gary Brown, right. And then we stopped them first three. Maybe they scored on third down. I don't remember. But we stopped them the first couple. All those cats in that backfield went to the league. You got Leroy Thompson, who I speak to every now and then. You had Sam Gash at fullback. So, they were a stacked football team. Remember they beat us the year before? We had that little fluke snap over the head.
It was close.
By the deep snapper. Yeah, it was close. But man, they ran that kickoff back, and after that, we got on them. I think the final score was like 13-7 or 16-7, something like that. Yeah, we shut their ass down. Lance was bringing it, Hawk was bringing it. That was a fun defensive game. That was some old school ball. I had all that RPO stuff they run today. I couldn't even play today. I couldn't. They got linemen down the field, look like run, then they pass on your ass. I mean, what is this? This ain't fair.
This ain't my right key. This ain't my right key. This ain't my right key.
Yes.
I'm reading my right key.
Everything I learned through Pop One and see through that guards helmet to the backfield for now.
Exactly.
Head on the swivel. Let's go.
Yeah. Come on, man.
You moved over 1 foot to the left too much, and you gave up a 50-yard play.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. I tell them all the time that alignment, if you don't align right, they can get you. It ain't about just knowing your responsibility. You got to align correctly to carry out that responsibility.
That's right. That's right.
It.
Hey, BJ, before we're about to wrap it up and take a break, in the second segment, we're going to talk about the College World Series. But I know just for your piece here, I know you're not the biggest baseball guy, but did you have a chance to see Texas and Omaha yet?
Listen, man, I love baseball. It's probably my favorite sport. I grew up playing everything as we did when we were growing up. It was none of this just concentrate on one thing. Love baseball. And I did watch them yesterday. And great win just to stay alive. So I watched them a little bit during the Super Regionals. And SEC has had their number all season, man. I'm glad they finally got one of them, which was Tennessee yesterday. But Mississippi State, of course, beat them at the beginning of the year. And some others got them. I'm sorry, phone's going off. Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
This is live, baby. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. That's how we do
man.
it. That's
there you go. But watched them yesterday, and hopefully they can continue. That damn Mississippi State come back with yesterday what they did versus Virginia.
Doubt. Oh, man.
They gonna be a tough out. But,
yeah, they are.
Man, happy for these cats. They're having a bunch of fun, and hopefully, who they have? Virginia next.
Virginia.
Virginia. They've got a deep bullpen. Wasn't deep enough yesterday. But,
that shit was shallow, bro.
It was like the kiddie pool over there, babe.
It was a drought, but man, of course, gonna be pulling for them just like you guys are. I'll be sitting right in front of the tube watching them as well.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Texas beats Virginia. They'll have to beat Mississippi State twice. I'm never gonna say they're not capable of it. Baseball, anything can happen. It really
first things first. Take care of that first one in front of you, and that's Virginia, and then we'll worry about the next one. We're just trying to get this one.
Yeah, exactly right. It's like Augie, inning by inning, pitch by pitch.
You go.
Hey, BJ, it was a pleasure, my friend. And when you're back in Austin, let's all get together and get to meet the rest of the
Let's go get us a chicken fried steak, man.
Woo, let's go.
Come on.
Let's go to
I've been craving a chicken fried steak for some reason. I've been craving one for a month.
You go get one. You go get one.
Do they serve chicken fried steak at Dirty's on campus?
I'm not sure. Is Dirty's still there?
Yeah.
Is it? Wow.
No, I'm
not sure. I never had one there. I would always go to, what's that place? There used to be on Barton. Barton Hills. Hell, I can't even think of it now. That's how good it was. I can't even think of
That's
that.
not good. Yeah, that makes you forget about it.
We're going. Yeah, we'll figure out.
I used to go to Grandy's on Sundays and get their little breakfast chicken fried steak. Good eats. It was good eats.
Good eats.
Cafe.
Yeah, I
Good
like
eats.
that. That's right.
Chicken fried steak, man. Outstanding.
Oh,
hey, man, appreciate you, cats. Continue the good work.
Much love.
Stop having so much fun.
Hey, I'll get at you this week, man. Later.
Okay, do that.
Hey, BJ, we'll see you soon, my man.
All right, hook 'em.
Hook 'em. Hey, we'll talk Omaha and Longhorns baseball. Harge and I wrap things up after this very short break.
I got to make a phone call. Okay.
One of the most loyal fans of Stories Inside the Man Cave podcast since day one has been Jimmy Saxton, the former Longhorn and former Westlake Chaparral, and the son of a Longhorn legend who was a Heisman finalist. He is also our primary sponsor for all of your insurance need. Log on to saxtoninsurance.com or give him a call at 512-441-1082. Again, that phone number, 512-441-1082. Jimmy Saxton, an Austin original, and has been insuring Austin for nearly 3 decades. Before his final deployment to Iraq, Travis Mannion left everyone with a simple but powerful ethos. If not me, then who? It describes a sense of duty felt by service members and their families. Today, it is a constant reminder for all of us to live with character and put the interests of others before our own. To learn more about this foundation and how to get involved, log on to travismannion, MANION.org. Well, there it is, Hard. Segment 2. There's only one UT. Texas knocked out Tennessee in what I thought was an entertaining, somewhat impressive college baseball game that really showed the true, bluntly putting it, guts of the Longhorns, and including that pitcher, the freshman pitcher as well.
Yeah. I think what we saw from Tanner Witt was a coming-of-age type of situation. He shows that he had big cojones, and he was glad to take the ball and be able to go out there. And you know, you sit there and you think about, he went 5 2/3, longest outing that he's had. What ended up happening is he saved the bullpen. He put it on himself, and now Texas will get a chance to go out and have almost a full complement of pitching that hadn't touched the field yet. And so if you're Texas and you're a Texas fan, you're definitely happy about the opportunity that's ahead of you. Hopefully it's going to be Pete Hansen. I haven't seen or heard official word, but if I had a bet, it would be Pete Hansen and Johnny Hole's staff after that. So
whole staff.
Yeah, the entire staff is ready to go. So I'm quite impressed with the way they came back and battled. They had great approach at the plate. We still have some situational baseball, and I know it sounds redundant by me by being able to say that so much, but the fact of the matter is you have to be able to execute and put bunts down situations. You can't leave runners in scoring position without having a good at bat. Sometimes you just got to shorten up and say, infield's playing back, hit the ball up the middle of the field and get that runner in. Don't leave runners in scoring position. Silas Ardwan with the pick at home plate on a bad throw by Cam Williams. Mitchell Daly going in the hole, turning the ball to Faltini to get that double play to get Texas out of a bunch of big innings, the potential big innings for Tennessee was deflating for Tennessee. Tennessee had big opportunities to bust that game wide open, and Texas found a way to get out of it. So I was quite impressed with the way they went after it, and I can't wait till tomorrow night so I can check them out.
Yeah, I think Coach Pierce summed it up best. It's in an exchange. He said about his team, I'm excited for them. They don't back down, and they love the success of their teammates, not as individuals. They have grit, and they love to compete. I mean, that's not cliche, Harge. That's legit knowing your team and that you could have the most talented group, especially in Omaha. We've seen talented teams, and some of those talented teams are 2-Q. Texas finds a way to win. Go ahead.
I know I was glad Texas didn't go 2-Q because David Pierce would have been, hey, man, there would have been some Longhorn fans that, hey, David Pierce, we need to talk.
We need to talk. Where's Augie?
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna have I understand that things are a little rough around here, but we're gonna have to make some changes.
So Texas gets Virginia tonight, the day of the pod drop. Another elimination game. And the cliche there. Let's go ahead and throw it in there. One game, one inning, one pitch at a time. Because Texas wins. If they win, they have to beat Mississippi State. Hell State, Omaha, was it Omaha Dogs or Oma Dogs? But you're going to need guys like Mike Antico. He's first Longhorn with 10 bombs and 40 stolen bases in one season. That's amazing.
Yeah.
What do you want to see in this game? What would you think? What do you think has to happen in this game for Texas to survive another day?
It's exactly what they've been doing. They have to execute. They have to have quality at bats. The one thing that I'm worried about, Sean, honestly, is it needs to be an overcast day.
The shadows.
The shadows are real, and the pitchers. If you looked at both games, if you looked at the Texas game on Sunday night, you saw that they struggled. If you looked at the Vanderbilt game the other night, both teams struggled, and the games were 2-1 and 1-0. So the shadows are a legit problem, and if it's overcast, like last night's game was a little bit more overcast, that's why Virginia jumped out on them early in the game because they could actually see. And then all of a sudden it got really to the point where they were ready to go to work. And that's what ended up happening, and Mississippi State came back. So I need Texas to go and have quality at-bats, keep throwing that glove around and making quality pitches and execute situational baseball. If that happens, we'll see you on Saturday, baby.
No, I got it. And what Harge means by executing situational, it's not only offensively like bunting to move a runner over, it's also executing situational baseball as an infield. Synchronized and have that chemistry. Even the outfielders know their situation before or during that at bat. Now, for me, as far as the shadows, try looking at a 93-mile-an-hour fastball while the pitcher maybe has a shadow on him and you have the sun on you, or vice versa. Think about that. That's what he means by the shadows being a significant issue.
Hey, man, tell me something good.
You know, for some reason, I always see a little glimmer or smile coming from Harge's face. That's the voice of his middle child, DJ. He does such a great job with it. The Tell Me Something Good segment sponsored by our buddies Paulo Vasey and friends at Cosmic Coffee and Beer Garden. Harge, what you got for us today, Brent?
I'm going to tell you something good, man. I'm really impressed with this Texas baseball team persevering and being able to go. And my tell me something good is we get to have Tanner Witt around for a couple more years because he's a true freshman. He showed you that what he got is the cojones and
large.
Yeah, they are large. And this kid, he's a two-way player. You know, he was going to be a high draft pick last year, but you know, with COVID and everything that happened, everything kind of changed in the draft. So things kind of went a different way. He came to the University of Texas. He got some opportunities early to DH, and you saw him get to play. But I'm really impressed with him. I love the fact that he said there's only one UT, and this kid is ready to go. So shout out to my man, Tanner Witt. Sean, tell us something good, dog.
On deck, up to the plate, babe. Let's see. Tell me something good. I love the social media post. I love the fact that I can walk into HEB and I will turn my head or anywhere in public and see people that I never thought cared 1 ounce about college baseball. All of a sudden, people are watching. That's what the magic of the regionals, the super regionals, that's what happens, the result of it at Dish Falk Field. Now you got Omaha, and I'll tell you something else good. It brings people in awful situations right now who are just down on life. They see this. All of a sudden, I'm seeing that, and I hear people talking about it. Puts them in a good mood for at least 2 weeks or helps them snap out of it. College baseball, babe. It is a beautiful thing. And to see all those posts, that is also encouraging. And I got to give a shout out, Harge. I went to Bolden Acres Sunday, stopped by there. You know, the Last Stand, Big Mike hosted his party. And there was quite a few people from that Occupy Left Field group who didn't go to Omaha. That's the 1B. Tell me something good. Good energy. Everybody loving each other, all for the love of college baseball and David Pierce's Longhorns.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
No, it is, man. It's pretty cool when you think about it. Just college baseball as a whole. I know you went straight to play pro, but you had your opportunity. You almost did it.
Almost did it, buddy. Almost did it.
Hey, babe. Let's wrap this up for Big Mike, Coach Mo, and much love to BJ, the Brian Jones, wore number 60 at Texas. He's not an introvert. Much love to him.
No doubt. Holla at your boy when you see him in the street.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up.